In a world full of conventional Hollywood cliches and recurring lackluster sequels, one critic has seen it all, who can provide you with all the movie news, opinions, and reviews that could very well save humanity as we know it. This is Libby's Movie Hunt. And now, your host, Libby Hunt.
Hello, welcome to Libby's Movie Hunt. I'm your host, Libby Hunt, along with my producer, Kevin E., and co-host.
Hey, Libby, how you doing?
Great. And today in the studio, we have the wonderful John Wildman.
Back for an encore?
Yes, we love it, from the Dallas International Film Festival. He's the publicist for the DIFF. Also, you are the publicist for a lot of film festivals.
Quite a few film festivals. Actually, 15 film festivals across the country now.
But how do you do that?
Just don't sleep.
Yeah. I mean, because is there a film festival all year long?
Pretty much.
Are they
pretty much? There are heavier periods like the spring. I've been going back to back. I had Oxford in Mississippi. This one, I have the Earth X Film Festival, a brand new one after this. Harlem International Film Festival in New York, and then I have a little bit of a break, and then pick back up with the Women Texas Film Festival here in Dallas.
Yes.
Sidewalk in Birmingham, Wichita, the Tall Grass Film Festival, Indy Memphis, Iowa, Sharonville, Ohio. I'm kind of all over.
But you live in Dallas.
I live in Dallas. I'm based in Dallas.
You said there you have a little bit of a break. I want to know what constitutes a break for John Wildman.
Yes.
What constitutes a break actually is a couple months.
Couple hours?
No, it's a couple months, but during that couple months, I'll actually be making a film myself. So the break is to do another film instead of doing PR for other films.
A break for more work.
Right.
Exactly, a break for more work.
So
exactly.
You're doing the PR for the festival.
Yes.
A film that I helped produce and was in, Bomb City, you were doing the PR for, did the red carpet. So tell us about what what a PR person for a festival does, head guy.
When you're a publicist for a film festival, it's like you have 150 babies because you're the publicist for every single film, as well as the film festival overall. So you are the one that is going out to the public via newspaper articles, via online, via interviews like this, television, to basically let everybody know kind of what's in store for them. And so that's how it starts. And then you start breaking it up into each film. And yes, you do in this case, we do red carpets almost every night, such as the one that Bomb City walked on. And you're running those red carpets. And so you're directing photographers and interviewers, and you're ushering filmmakers like yourself through that process. And then following that, then you're also encouraging reporting and reviews of those films as the festival goes along. So there are a lot of different moving parts, but it really comes down to, which is I think what we talked about last week on the show, is kind of setting the table for an audience member.
Right.
It's like it's for everyone. When you have 150 films, that can be just daunting. You can go, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to see? And you say, well, what kind of films are you interested in? Because I probably have something for you. And and if you don't know, you go, well, let me tell you about this film. Maybe this will excite you. And let me tell you about this film. These are just a handful of them, but maybe this will then kind of inspire you to start looking through the quick guide and go, okay, well, he told me about this one, but look at this other one. And that's where it starts.
Well, wait, so how many films are in this? There's not that many in this festival. There's 150?
Yes.
Well, because there's a lot of shorts, too.
There are a lot of short films as well.
But I was like, God, that's a lot. So the red carpet, I've done a few of them, but that amazed me how it's kind of like organized chaos. And you assigned, since I was an executive producer, I kind of walked down the carpet with that team instead of an actor. And you're like, okay, this volunteer is assigned to you, and she's going to walk you along and let people talk to you. I'm like, you seemed so calm, and you were like getting everybody in their position. But you were talking about before the show started about how sometimes when you actually deal with really big celebrities and the egos and pictures being made.
Yeah, it's much the same. It's the same process regarding whether it's a Robert Redford and a George Clooney, or whether it's in your film Logan Huffman, or guys like that who are a little bit newer. Jamie the director. regardless, there's still an organizational process to it. And you have photographers there that need to get good photos of you and the cast and everyone, which means they need to make sure that you're standing there actually looking at them and you're not distracted by all the shiny lights around and all the activity. And then the interviewers, they want to talk to you about the film, but they've got to talk to a lot of people.
Right.
So they can't chase you down. So therefore, I need someone to go and introduce you, to, whether it be that nerd show or it be Selig News or whether it be, one of the TV stations, and introduce you to them. And then you'll have a couple questions and then take you and introduce you to the next person. So for you, when you arrive there, because it's your movie. It's a crazy night. You're wondering about, did I get tickets to my friends?
Yeah.
Did I, and where am I going to sit? What are we doing at the after party? Did I wear the right thing?
Yeah.
You've got all those crazy thoughts going through your head. So therefore, it's up to me and it's up to my team to go, something? All you have to do is just think about yourself and your movie. We will put you in the right direction. We will point you and put you right in front of the microphone or in front of the camera. And so you don't have to think about anything else other than talking about your movie tonight.
Yeah. Well, I was impressed. I thought it was funny because we did a big group picture and you go, okay, bam, here's these 5 important photographers. Look this way, look this way, look this way, look this way. Done. Bam. I was like, wow, John, this is amazing. You've done this before. So
I learned that from Max von Sydow. And one of my first red carpets, at AFI, American Film Institute, we had a film, Max von Sydow, and he's there, and he had 5 cast members with him. They're all much younger than him, and he was in the center, and he gets up on the carpet, and in his sonorous voice, he goes, "We're looking to the left.
yeah.
We're looking to the center.
Yes.
And they're all looking to the right, and they're all following along with him. I was going, well, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You tell everybody where to look, and then of course they were like puppy dogs, just doing whatever Max von Sydow told them. I said, okay, that's how we do it, and that's exactly how I did it.
You did a great job. Well, so opening night, Friday night was, I guess you had Thursday night. Was that the Faye Dunaway?
Thursday night was Bonnie and Clyde. It was
Bonnie
the
and
50th
Clyde.
anniversary.
So our red carpet, she came later, right before Bonnie and Clyde was aired, and so I got to see her in person. Faye Dunaway, wow, she looked so pretty. She was great.
She was great, and every film festival, I have what I call like my personal happy moment, and she did her conversation. We honored her, gave her the Dallas Star Award, and so we're leaving, and she goes, I'd like to watch a couple scenes from the movie. So we snuck her into the side, and we sat down. We found a seat. I'm sitting in front of her. She sat in back of me, and we watched the entire movie.
She probably didn't want to get up.
And every once in a while, she would lean over and tap me on the shoulder, and she'd go, "That was a great scene, wasn't it?"
Oh.
Or there's a portion where Gene Wilder is in, and you forget if you haven't watched the movie, and he's hilarious.
He's the guy they pick up.
Yes,
With,
it's so funny. And she leans over me, and she goes, "He was so funny. He was so funny." And I'm going, I'm watching Bonnie and Clyde with Faye Dunaway.
You're like, yeah, somebody touch me.
With
now.
Bonnie Barrow herself.
Yes, exactly.
Gosh, that was a fun night. And also, Judge Reinhold was there. What is he in town? I mean, his wife is from here, but what's he doing?
Well, that's one of the things. We were just talking about this. That the last 2 days of the festival, everybody goes, "Well, after your award show, it's pretty much done." You go, "Well, no, actually, the last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, that's a time to catch kind of like the greatest hits of the festival. The award winners play again, and then we also have some great studio movies and movies that we couldn't get until that last weekend." Well, Judge Reinhold is going to do a conversation after a screening of his film "Daddy's Dying, Who Got the Will."
Oh, that's a pretty cute little movie.
Yeah,
I remember that movie.
Yeah. And in fact, I'm moderating that Q&A with him afterwards.
And what night? When's
so we're going
that?
to talk about the movie. That is on Saturday night at the Angelica at 7:30, and he, as we've discussed, Judge likes to talk, and he's got a great career of films to talk about. So we'll be talking about Fast Times at Ridgemont High. We'll be talking about Beverly Hills Cop. We're going to be talking about
Santa
all
Claus.
of those films. Santa Claus.
All movies we were talking about before the show
Seinfeld,
today.
The Close Talker.
Yes, The Close Talker.
And Seinfeld. That's one
He
of my
got nominated for an Emmy for that.
So good.
Yeah. So 7:30 at Angelica on Saturday. Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will, and Judge and I are going to be talking movies.
I'm jealous. He's so funny. But so the awards, tell me about since my movie, I guess, would be in the running. What awards do y'all give, and when does this take place?
Friday night at the Highland is our Dallas Film Society Honors event, and the categories in the competition categories in the festival, you have a narrative competition,
Right.
You have a documentary competition,
Okay.
You have a Texas competition. That's when I think Bomb City is in the Texas competition.
And audience award.
And you have audience awards that are across the board.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the audience awards go for narrative, documentary, and short films. And because short films are also in competition. So all of those different categories are in competition. And then you have the Silver Heart Award, which is an award that honors a film that has specifically talked about human rights or dealt with
okay.
human rights. And that's a special award that Studio Movie Grill sponsors. So all that. And then we also have our Maverick Award, which David Gordon Green is our Maverick Award honoree this year, and we're doing a special screening of Pineapple Express.
Yes.
With him. And
Is he a Texan?
he is a Texan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got him. He will be here Friday and also here Saturday for the conversation after his film. And then our Shining Star Award honoree this year is Zoe Deutsch. And Zoe Deutsch, who's in Before I Fall, that's playing right now. A lot of people would remember her from Everybody Wants Some. She was the only girl in that entire movie.
Yep.
Right? And
Great movie.
Yeah, Vampire Academy. And
My teenagers really like her. They liked that Before We Fall.
Yeah.
That's a really appeal to that age.
She is
group.
great, and that award goes to someone like her that you go, oh, they're just on the cusp.
Yeah.
They've done great things, but they're going to do even greater things. And a lot of people don't know this. Her mom is Leah Thompson.
From
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Yes, and so
Cool.
her mom is coming with her. So Leah Thompson will be here as well.
Wait, that kind of gives me chills. This is fun. You
Definitely.
like that little
Yes.
sci-fi guy?
So yeah.
Well, you.
I'm a huge fan of Lorraine McFly.
Yeah, you are. Well, yeah, everybody thought she was so cute. Well, what was that? You also had a celebrity last weekend. Oh, Katharine Hepburn's niece from Look Who's Coming to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Katharine
How'd that
Houghton.
go?
It was wonderful. Wonderful conversation. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Of course, it was one of our 1967 films. She could not have been sweeter and more cool. And, one of my jobs along with being publicist is helping bring someone like Faye Dunaway here, or Katharine Houghton, or Zoe Deutsch. And so you reach out, and oftentimes you're going through a personal publicist, you're going through a manager, you're going through all kinds of handlers, and you never even deal with the actual person until they arrive.
Right.
If you're so lucky that they actually do arrive. She reached out, to her reps, and she immediately sent an email to James Faust, the artistic director,
good.
herself,
Oh.
and said, well, I would love to do this. I'm suddenly actually working quite a bit on TV. She was in stage. Like a lot of people ask, they go, what
Where
happened
was
to
she?
her
That's
after?
what I wondered, yeah.
And she went right back to the stage and did a lot of stage. But she wrote to us directly, and we were able to get her here.
I bet that was fun. I'm
yeah,
sorry I missed that because
it's
she was a beautiful young girl. I wanted to see her and more stuff.
And yeah, she's amazing now.
Well, and you're doing a tribute to Bill Paxton, who is from
Yes.
Fort Worth, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. And
Which is so sad. He passed on.
well, and I wrote a column about this on my site festworks.com, and about the fact that, listen, he was an amazing talented guy. And and a lot of people, of course, they know him from whether it be Aliens or Twister or Weird Science
Yeah.
or
Chet.
or
Titanic, Apollo 13.
I mean, just
yeah,
so prolific.
all of these films.
He's got a good
but
resume.
also an amazing director. Frailty.
Frailty.
Oh, I love that
Creepy.
movie.
That's a movie you can watch multiple times and find different layers in. But you can also go back to the very first thing, which was the short film he did for Fish Heads, the song that Billy Mooney did, and he wrote, directed, actually starred in it. This short film played on Saturday Night Live a couple times. You can see it on YouTube. It is a crazy thing, but that's actually what started his career.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Me either. I'm actually looking up right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
And so, but I wrote about the fact that he was also just a freaking great guy.
Yeah.
He was a
So
great guy.
nice. Everybody
And
says that.
He would, and he was a friend of the festival. We would have. It's a shame, in a way, that he's not around for us to honor him, for him to see, because that was one of the things that we would discuss frequently and going, well, is this the year that we bring Bill in to do this? Because he would oftentimes come in as a friend to the festival and talk about film, do a panel, introduce stuff, and because he was just so gregarious and so kind. I remember one year he was here to do something, and Amanda Seyfried, this is during when Big Love, his series on HBO, Amanda Seyfried just flew in because she loved Bill and just wanted to hang out with him.
Oh.
That's the kind of guy that Bill Paxton was, that somebody would go, so I'm going to hop on a plane from L.A. and go to Dallas, not because I have a film there or anything, but, I know you're there, and if and so I could spend some time with you.
That's the kind of story you like to hear about a celebrity.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard anything bad about him.
No.
But so you're going to honor him. Are you going to show a film of his?
We are. One False Move. Such a fantastic movie.
I'm actually not familiar with that either.
One False Move. The film he starred. In fact, it was actually his first starring role.
Oh.
And we're going to have the director Carl Franklin here.
Oh, good.
As part of it. And definitely a must see, especially on the big screen, because you don't see it that often anymore.
And Billy Bob Thornton has a writing credit.
Billy
on that.
Bob Thornton and is in it as well. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Billy Bob. Okay. And you said you write. What do you write? A film fest? You write.
The fest site is the website is called festworks.com.
Festworks. Because I'm just learning about these festivals more and more, and it's so interesting.
Well, that's the thing, and I actually took over this website and turned it into a news site that covered regional film fests.
It's great.
Like Dallas, like Tallgrass, like Oxford, like Indie Memphis, like all those fests. Because again, as we talked the last time I was on here, I am very very hyper conscious about making discoveries at these festivals. And and the larger festivals, the Sundances, the Cannes, Toronto, I cover those fests as press, but I really do think, there are films that have played in Dallas, like Bomb City, that have not played those festivals, that are really poised to break out. And they're poised to break out if someone like myself actually writes about them.
Exactly. Because you're right, at Sundance and Toronto and stuff, it's more big names or people. They keep getting the ones come back. This is for breakout people, like to be discovered.
Absolutely.
And like you said, to see some, and I think festivals, I love what you said. I'm going to start using it. They're broccoli movies that we need to see, that are healthy and good for us, and we need to, that we may not ever get to see, and we get to see.
Yeah, listen, everything is in a balance.
Yeah.
And we all love popcorn movies, but you do want to have, a couple broccoli movies in there in that mix. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What's so fun about the festivals to me, and I went to one last night and no one was there, is after I don't know if everybody knows this about film festivals, but the stars or the writers or the directors get up and do a Q&A afterwards. And last night I saw, it was Ellen Brennan, Commander of the Table, the documentary, and nobody from the film was there, so that was disappointing, but the film was so good.
Yeah.
And you're like, I hope people get to see that, because it was a really well done documentary about Brennan's in New Orleans, the restaurant, and then Commander of the Table, but then her restaurant. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But it was so interesting because all the people she made famous, Emerald Lagasse. The list goes on and on and on, that people she brought in, and then they moved on and hung their own shingle somewhere else. But so interesting.
Well, listen, Q&As, I think, are maybe the most important thing about a film festival.
It's fun.
Because, listen, let's face it, we can watch a film on a 4K screen in our living room. Mm-hmm. We can watch a film on our laptop. We could watch a film on our phone. What we can't do is have Faye Dunaway in our living room to talk about the movie afterwards.
It's the most fun.
Right? And and how many times we have those questions, we go, why did they do that thing and that last couple scenes? What did that mean? Or I wonder how they were managed to get all those butterflies to land on that clothesline. And how did they do that? And when you have a director there, or you have stars there, to be able to talk about it afterwards, I tell everyone all the time, I go, if I can get someone to come to the film festival, if they see one Q&A, I will have them, because they will always want to come back, because there's something about that. I remember one year at Sundance, it was like a year where every other movie seemed to make me cry.
Yes.
Right? And and I remember telling a friend, we'd driven up from LA, and I go, if one more movie makes me cry, I'm getting in the car and leaving.
Come out of here.
What the heck with this, right? And but I remember there was a film called Pieces of April, and a guy, Peter Hedges, wrote and directed it, and it was about his mom and about her dealing with a cancer diagnosis.
Right.
And so you're bawling during the movie, and then
You're bawling
he
afterwards.
gets up and during the Q&A, and he describes about the fact, because nobody really knew, that it actually was based on his actual mom.
Oh, wow.
And people
Wow.
were like in sobbing, heaving in
Yeah.
the lobby after the movie.
Oh.
But there was such a moment to go, okay, the movie is one thing, but now I have this fuller experience because I've seen this. And at Dallas, it is such a key thing. I mean, even frankly, the conversation I'm doing with Zoe Deutsch on Saturday, where again, it'll be after Before I Fall, so we'll talk about the movie, but then we're also going to be talking about her career afterwards. So, you see these movies and you see someone and you go, oh, well, she's, Leah Thompson's daughter. Well, what was that like? Well, you can find out what that was like
Yeah.
because I'm going to ask her what that was like.
Yeah,
right?
totally. Oh, I totally. Well, I know because Kevin, you haven't been to any festivals, have
No,
you?
see, and that's what I'm missing out on. I think that's what I would be most excited about,
No,
is the
you'd like
Q&A.
it.
That's I am fascinated by
asking the
this.
questions.
Yes, I would be one of those obnoxious people where they're like, enough from this guy. But
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
One thing I found about the festivals when I've gone to Sundance, so I haven't seen this at the Dallas Festival. There's some people that ask some bizarre questions and and are kind of not kind sometimes to the director or writers or something. They say something, I'm like,
Really?
wow, yeah, not always,
Right.
not always.
Here's one of my favorite ones. Here at the Dallas. We had David Lynch.
Oh yeah,
David Lynch is here. We're honoring him. We're playing his film Inland Empire, and this Q&A went a long, long time. And you always, when you're running Q&As, and I wasn't moderating, but kind of monitoring it, and you always go. You always end up asking like one question too many, right?
Exactly.
It's like that last person. You go,
I just
Why'd I
shouldn't
do
have done
that?
that. Why did I
shouldn't-
quit?
Yes, right. So it's like a 40-minute Q&A. I mean, it's like
Which is a little too long.
That's
Yeah.
long.
That's pretty long.
But everybody was so excited to have David Lynch
Lynch,
here,
yeah.
right? So guy gets up. It's gonna be the last question, and the guy says, "I've been wondering. I wonder what your thoughts are on the color blue." And we're going, okay. I'm ready to throw this guy out of the theater, right?
Yeah, what do you?
Right?
Yeah, well,
And
it's one of my favorites.
So David Lynch stands up and he goes, "I've actually been thinking about that a lot recently." I'm going, of course you have, David Lynch, right? And he gives this really thoughtful answer about the color blue.
And that guy's telling all his friends, like, how killer was my question about the blue, huh?
Exactly.
Did you have any idea that was going to play?
that's pretty good. That's funny.
And we were talking about a little before the show. I just want to say, John, on camera, your shirt is the perfect amount of blue while we're on
It ties in.
That's
Exactly.
a good shirt for auditions. They say it's the best color if you go on audition. So we'll talk a little bit more about how much time do we have, Kevin?
I got about 5 minutes.
So John, yourself are a director. Let's talk
Yes.
about that. You directed a movie. Tell us the name of it again.
I directed a film called The Ladies of the House.
And it's a
It is
Thriller?
a thriller. It is a genre thriller.
write that down too. Ladies of the House.
The Ladies of the House. The idea I made this film with my wife, Justina Walford. We co-wrote it and I directed it and we produced it together. And the idea was, if Douglas Sirk directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what might happen? And so the story is, it's about a family of women, not related, but a group of women who live together that are kind of burlesque dancer strippers, and some guys out on a birthday outing follow the wrong dancer home, talk their way into the wrong house, and they'll be invited for dinner.
Wow.
So
You
yes.
wrote it?
Yeah, co-wrote it.
Co-wrote it.
And the idea was, people when I love genre films, and people oftentimes when they talk
I
about
do too.
horror films or genre films, about whether women are the victims or whether women are the monsters, and we said, you know something? Let's just clear the deck entirely. Let's create a woman's world, and if guys are going to survive, they're going to have to survive in the woman's world. And so that was the idea for it. And it's now, you can watch it now on VOD. It's on DVD.
Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for you.
I like that.
Does it have any actors in it or
Yeah.
that we know?
A local, very famous Dallas talent, Farrah White, stars in it. Was also one of the producers. Michelle Sinclair is in it, and another Gabriel Horn, who has had films here in Texas, and now has the Ghost Hunters series on the Family Channel. He is in it, and Brina Palencia. Also, who's on the CW show Star-Crossed, is a big anime voice star. She's in it as well.
But did you have any training in directing, or you just said, I'm going to direct?
Well, I directed short films before,
Okay.
and I had directed.
Did you go to film
I
school?
directed a lot of
Or just
stage.
self-taught kind of?
No. Self-taught, and also I began as an actor.
Right.
So
you learn from. I mean, we all learn. Yeah, being on set, you can
exactly.
learn so much.
Absolutely.
And so you're doing another film.
Yes.
What is it called? Tell us about that.
The second film is called Stag Party, and it is based on the old Playboy After Dark TV show.
Right, that Hugh Hefner had.
Yes, and the idea of this show was you were a guest at the most incredible party at Hugh Hefner's, and while you were there, the Grateful Dead just happened to be there singing a song, or George Carlin just happened to be there doing a funny routine, because that's how amazing the party was. Norman Mailer just happened to be there talking about his next book. And so
This is a common thing here. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly. It happens all the time. Sure.
Is it going to be like a bio thing? Like, is it Hugh Hefner? Or you're going to use a different name?
No. Here's the thing. I saw clips of this on YouTube, and they were hilarious. Not because they were supposed to be.
Right.
But this is the late 60s, early 70s. And so the fact was that it was actually incredibly sexist. It was kind of racist.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
kind of all these things, but very, very funny. And so I said, well, I want to do my own version of this. I want to make fun of this and do this twisted version of it. And then we came with the idea, well, what if, it's supposed to be this most amazing party, but what if I tell you guys about the show and I give you some DVDs to watch it, and you realize as you watch it that in the background you see people are trying to escape. Like they're trying to get out, like they can't actually escape the show, right?
funny, yeah.
And so it's like they shoot horses, don't they? Like it's like
Yeah.
they keep telling them, no, keep having a good time, keep partying, and you go, I just want to get out. So you're trying to pry open the elevator, or you're trying to get out through a window. And so that was the idea, that you go, all right, we're making fun of this show, but we're also twisting it around to go, there's no escape.
that's a good twist.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yes.
And it'll be a feature.
It'll be a feature film. Yes.
Well, and films, what have you found that a length of a movie, like Bomb City at one point was over 2 hours, and I think we've gotten it down to 1 hour and 30 minutes. Isn't it good, better if a film is a little on the not so long side?
Well, if you go beyond 2 hours, you better justify that.
Right.
It better be worth your time.
It better
you know.
be.
Oh,
Steven
man.
Spielberg.
Not for Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
I've been at films at Cannes that have been like 3 and 4
No,
hours
that's
long.
too long.
And you go, really? Did you need that? And for me, everything that my wife and Justine and I write, is in that 90-minute range.
I think it's a good time.
Because we go,
That's a good time,
I think
yeah.
we can tell a story and get in and out at that time. Now there are some epic stories that deserve 2.5 hours, 3 hours, but those are very rare. And that should be, that's got to be a Martin Scorsese that's delivering
That's
that,
exactly what I was saying. It's got to be a Wolf of Wall Street or something
exactly.
like that.
It's got to be that kind of film to justify it. I think, brevity is the thing. And
It's better, yes.
Absolutely.
I think anything satirical or comedy or horror or even in the children's genre should be around that 90-minute range.
90
I mean, I
minute.
think it plays the best for those
think it does.
genres.
Well, we were doing some research on the Oscars when we talked about the Oscars, and a short, if it's it considered, it has to be at least 40 minutes to be a feature.
Yes.
And it has to be under 40 minutes to be a short. But shorts tend to do better if they're like 15 or 20 minutes.
Or no, actually much less
13,
than that.
12?
5 to 8.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They do better in festivals? Okay.
Yes.
That's a quick burn.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got to wrap it up. So I think I'm so excited. This has been such a fun week. So the last day is Sunday.
Last day is Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. Again, those are great films, great conversations. Come and see me talk to Zoe Deutsch on Saturday at 12:30 at the Angelica.
And
but
how
look
will
at
we
the
know
schedule.
I'm curious about my wonderful film, Bomb City, plug. How will we know when it's won anything? When will those announcements be made?
Friday night. Friday night, they'll be announcing and handing out awards at the podium.
And then will they play them again since they won that weekend?
Yes.
So you get online Saturday morning?
Routinely, yes. If a film has won, then we will have an encore showing of it Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, fun. And this is so good for a film to win. They can put it on their deal.
It is very important because when you win one festival, then other festivals automatically look and go, okay, well, now we'll give you a chance.
Perfect. That's so fun. Well, thanks, John, for being here.
Thank you
Come
for
back
having me.
anytime. I mean, we could talk for hours. Let's do it again.
Okay.
Let's talk in a week or two after you wrap things. Okay. Thanks for coming on, and now go enjoy the movies.